Hello everyone. So my lesson today, my introduction is on front-end responsive frameworks, also known as CSS frameworks. So let's get into it. So what are CSS frameworks? A CSS framework is comprised of several CSS style sheets ready to use by web developers and designers. They're prepped for um, um, for use in standard web design functions such as setting colors, layout, font, etc. Generally, style sheets are supported and expanded by other scripting technologies like Sass and JavaScript. With a CSS framework, the user has a completed CSS style sheet, and they only have to code the HTML with accurate classes, structure, and IDs to set up a web page. The framework already has classes built in for common website elements: footer, slider, navigation bar, and hamburger menu, um, and so forth. Okay, so I guess that was kind of a weird explanation, or maybe you didn't really understand it. So let me kind of break down how I understood it after researching it for a little bit. So, um, I kind of think of CSS frameworks or responsive frameworks as um, almost a shortcut for writing CSS. Um, it's more of a template that you can just um, you can access. You can access pre-written templates for your CSS um, through your HTML and specifically through setting class names. So I'd like to show you an example of this here. So this is Tailwind CSS. This is on their website, so you can see that they have, say, let's reload it here and see if it'll show us in action. Okay, it is being a bit slow, but you can kind of see up here that the classes are being written, and you can see what's happening down here, right? Um, you can see that they're changing different things like rounding edges of corners, just everything, centering text, and it's just kind of using code words in your class names that access pre-written CSS for you. So some of the benefits, um, well, let's get into that. Um, if you can see, as you can see, there's lots of things that are happening here, but the main idea is that you just change the class names, and that accesses the template that you already have. All right, so um, 1 second. Let's get out of that. Oh gosh, what have I done? Oh man. Oh my heck, this screencast thing is kind of weird. I guess I'll start again. Okay, never mind, I figured it out. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so advantages of using CSS frameworks. Developers and designers can use CSS frameworks to implement various advanced features and visual elements on a website. forms, different buttons, nav bars, breadcrumbs, and even clean symmetrical layouts. CSS frameworks make it simple to create websites compatible with different browsers and browser versions. So I think one thing about the topic front-end responsive frameworks. Front-end, we all know what that is. That's what we're studying. But responsive just means that as you change the screen size, whether you're on an iPhone or a computer, that it will respond in the way that you want it to, and it will look good in any screen size because there's so many screen sizes coming out every year. So uh, the top 5 CSS frameworks at the moment. The first one is Bootstrap. It is supported by lots of different web browsers. It is it's the most popular and most known. It's, I guess, a lot of people know about Bootstrap, and it's the one that is most commonly used. And so why choose Bootstrap? There's a lot of documentation on Bootstrap on the web, and it's easy to use. You can look it up, and it's user friendly. And let's see. Accelerated prototyping just means that it's good for mock-ups. Basically, it's good to get a site layout looked at really quickly. I mean, this goes for all frameworks in general, that it's a time saver once you've actually learned how to use the framework. And it's good for when you're in a time crunch. If you have a website mock-up that you just want to do really quickly and get that done. And yeah, I mean, it's really good. On the other hand, some of the negative things about it is that if you're trying to learn CSS, then it might not be best to start with a dumbed down version of CSS in a way, because you're not going to be able to understand CSS and you're not going to learn. So it's recommended to learn CSS before you do it. And the other thing is you can always use CSS alongside, the normal way of writing CSS alongside Bootstrap. So let's say you have Bootstrap up at the top of your CSS file. You can add more CSS down below to rewrite any of the settings based on your preference. So you can use normal CSS alongside Bootstrap. It's just recommended that you use it after Bootstrap so that it overwrites the things that you don't want. So one of the let's see. So this is, I mean, you can look into each one of these different different frameworks and see which one will be the best for you. So how are you going to be able to choose the right framework for you? They said consider a few different factors, required time for installation, are they comprehensive? Do they have a lot of features that you need? Or are they just something that's just meant for something simpler, which might be what you want? Um, so are they useful in professional? Um, of course, they're all useful in professional settings, but just make sure that it can integrate with other systems that you're using. Um, anyway, the advantages are clear that it's um, a bit cleaner, it's a bit easier to do, and especially if you're just trying to focus on um, if you're just trying to focus on, back end development and you just want to get something that looks good enough for your website, it's just fine to use a template, in that case. But if you are trying to learn CSS better, if you're trying to become a better front end developer, it's recommended that you try to learn CSS before jumping into these frameworks. So yes, that's my brief description of what front-end responsive frameworks are, also known as CSS frameworks. Um, Hopefully, I was able to shed some light on a topic that you guys didn't know about, or I was able to teach you something I have not been. I didn't know anything about this before I started, so hopefully everything I said or something that I said was able to help you guys out. So there's my presentation. I hope you guys have a great week, and I guess we'll be talking. Okay.